there we go. Map vetoes are done. This first game is going to be on Cursed Hollow. This is between 100% LAN win rate and Polando boys. Now, I know they're called 100% LAN win rate because they've simply played one LAN game and won with it. So that is the full history of that.
That is the correct way. The Polando boys are hailing from Poland. They're they have a Polish stream up mirroring ours, so the Polish community can get some Polish shoutcasting on the go as well. So that's always interesting to hear.
Excellent. Wow, I did not know that. That's fantastic.
So we're on Cursed Hollow, you say, yeah?
Yes, Cursed Hollow.
Seems to be a map we seem to see quite regularly nowadays. We saw it quite a lot.
I think it's generally the most popular map for many, many good reasons.
It's reasonably balanced map. Objectives that can swing you back in. Always good to go. You have a very interesting... Oh, that wasn't your... I thought that was your portrait then, that was the cool sword, but it wasn't. That's a shame. I was going to say, that's a really cool portrait. Where did you get that? Please let us know.
Well, right now we have Polando boys. They first banned out Johanna. Kind of typical. She's a strong hit. It's kind of typical of last patch. More so than this one. So then 100% LAN win rate, they're kind of forced to ban out the Zero tool, which they do.
Yeah.
Polando boy then first picks Uther, which leaves 100% LAN win rate with a Leoric and Jaina just to pick up really happily. Now Polando boys have kind of drafted themselves into an issue here, where they have to pick up Muradin or some other tank. Normally we'd see Muradin, but
yeah,
we could actually see something like a triple tank meta coming out right now.
Yeah, so a lot of interesting things happening this weekend, and whether the teams are going to have picked up from that. There you go. There's the Muradin that you were calling coming.
Potentially Kael'thas on top of that. But I think the Zagara is going to be a more likely pick, especially on Cursed Hollow. Get more work done with the split pushing, and Zagara is still a super strong ranged assassin. Ranged specialist, but fills in that assassin.
Would be good to see them pick up a Zagara here. Yeah, and they do pick up that Zagara. The other option, obviously, now you are on point. The other option, obviously, that they could have done, we could have seen the potential Abathur pickup for an Abathur Illidan Uther combo. But losing the Jaina, that's obviously not the strongest of picks there. Backing up with a Kael'thas might have worked. We might have seen something out of them.
And speaking of Kael'thas, I feel like 100% LAN win rate might ban him out at this point. For me, Polando will want to pick up 2 more ranged assassins currently with their setup, or go for a triple tank. So banning out the Kael'thas or a Reyna would be really strong in this position.
Yeah.
On top of that, Tyrande and Kerrigan would combo very well with the Muradin Uther, so that could be something we see out of Polando boys.
A lot of options for Polando boys here. What about 100% LAN win rate? Where do you think their comp's going to go from here? So they've got that Leoric, which is the nice sustained tank.
Jaina can take Ice Block, and Leoric can... we do get Tyrande ban. And Leoric has a lot of self-heals. We're going to see a Malfurion healer come out. But for the rest of their composition, I would actually quite like to see a much kind of sustainier lineup. Maybe with a Karazim instead of Malfurion. I'd like to see a Tyrael come out. Less of the tank build Tyrael, more of the aggressive build Tyrael. The Judgment just to completely single out the Zagara or another key target for Polando boys. I think triple tank would work well against the Muradin Uther when you can just Divine Shield the target you focus on. If you've got 3 tanks, none of your team are going to die. So yeah.
I'm not sure if that's an error on my side, but it looks as though Polando boys opting to not ban.
No, it was just lag. Reyna is banned.
Reyna's that interesting. They took the Reyna off the table themselves rather than
picking him up.
Yeah, either picking him up. Maybe they just didn't want 100% LAN win rate to pick him up straight away in this double pick that they do get after the ban. But they are leaving the Malfurion open. They could have taken the Malfurion off the table, which would have been a little bit interesting. So Kael'thas pick up for 100% LAN win rate there. And I think I've lagged again.
I've only just had the Kael'thas come up for me, so some issues with Hero Draft coming out. It'll be fine, guys. Kael'thas, not an unusual pickup, especially now they have the double mage combo in that Jaina Kael'thas. Means Zagara's going to have to be really, really key with her positioning. Right? And for me, that kind of pushes Polando boys to maybe try and take bigger health pool heroes, maybe like a Tychus. Oh wow, we're going to get an Arthas come out of...
So an off-tank Arthas. Now, we have seen Wondercall running the Arthas Reyna, but Reyna has been taken off the table. So I wonder what they are going to do with this Arthas. And an insta-lock Illidan Abathur there. So the Uther Abathur Illidan combo coming out. interesting that they chose to do that. And the Lily healer for 100% win rate, not the Malfurion.
I mean, on Cursed Hollow, I'm not necessarily sure why Lily over. However, she does have amazing utility with the blinds against Illidan. That's something that's true. There. Blinding the Illidan basically shuts him down for 2 seconds.
That's true. That's true, especially if Abathur is opting to clone that Illidan, so you've got 2 of them running around, you can blind them both. Also, you can stop Zagara's auto attacks from it. Can't necessarily stop her banelings and her other little creatures that she's going to have running around with her, but you can stop her auto damage coming out. So, we have the draft.
We're going to be getting into a draft, into the lobby screen eventually. I'm just going to see if I can add the leader of Polando boys.
I'm going to sit this one out as we have some of the Polish guys casting this. So you're going to listen to Stefan solo cast this game.
Oh, this is going to be so good, guys. You ready?
Polando boys. Polando boys? It is Polando boys, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Polando boys versus 100% LAN win rate. Take it away, Stefan.
Okay, and yeah, let's get into this. As soon as the last player is ready, we're going to get this game underway. I'm just going to move my round 1 right into the middle. As you can see, we have almost some sort of professional setup here. I've got the scores up. We're going to wait for it. It'll look better in the match, I promise you guys. So, over to eSports World's channel. I'll type into the chat if you can direct everybody over there already. And the game is getting underway. Excellent, excellent. So, as Nick and I discussed, we're on Cursed Hollow. It's a very, very large map. Now, for those of you who don't know, the objective is to gather 3 tributes, which spawn periodically throughout the game. And once your team has 3 of these tributes that spawn around, the opposing team gets cursed. Now, this stops all their buildings, other than their core, from firing. And it also reduces all their minions' health to 1, which means you can still get the experience for killing the minions, obviously, but they just do nothing in the lane. It's a really, really good pushing tool. Now, Polando boys, who have an Abathur, are looking quite good at the moment with their draft as far as the size of the map, because it means that Abathur can sit where he needs to and basically soak a lane perpetually and still be in the fights with his team, still go for those tributes, put his mines down in key locations, stuff like that. So, really looking forward to seeing how Polando boys are going to handle this Abathur. And Zagara, in the meantime, also another good kind of split pusher. Let's make sure everything is going well. 100% win rate is on the wrong side. I will swap that right now. Boom. Done. Look at that, guys. It's as if I'm prepared. Okay, well, we're going to have Polando boys in blue on the left here. Zudun is going to be played by playing Muradin. Illidan be played by Zrokawani. DCTRR is going to be playing Uther. Brisbly on that Abathur, and Priest 94 on the Zagara. Meanwhile, for the team of 100% LAN win rate, we have Badger Boy on the Lili, Sherez on the Leoric. I'm getting a little bit of stuttering. I'm sorry if I'm losing frames for you guys. Myth is going to be playing the Jaina, and DM on that Arthas, and finally Shaw heading bottom lane on that Kael'thas. Now, I'm just going to quickly see. Okay, yeah, I'm suffering a little bit on the FPS front. Not sure why, but we will hopefully get that sorted out for you very soon. Talents, nothing hugely surprising going on here. Reach for Uther instead of Conjurer's Pursuit. Now, it's a little unusual because this map is a big map and it tends to go on quite long, so Conjurer's Pursuit gets a lot of value these days. Yeah, I'm still suffering a little bit of lag, so I am going to see what I can do about that. Potential gank going to be set up here on the Kael'thas down bottom, but the Arthas and Jane are coming just to scare it away. Technical issues still, guys. I'm in the process of fixing it. Illidan versus Lili up in top is not going to be a very interesting matchup. I'm going to see what I can... Yep, I am disconnecting quite hard here. Again, I apologise, and we will be getting into this as soon as possible. Get the stream as smooth as possible. If I can't sort out some of this. And it looks as if it's starting to stabilise now and get a little bit better. Leoric versus Muradin in the mid lane is not going to be an interesting matchup. Leoric can just steal all the Muradin's health. Muradin's going to normally out-damage the Leoric there, but here we go. Game stabilised, everything looks okay. So, nothing to report really. Everybody's just kind of soaking. Nobody's in bottom other than Crisbell and that Abathur getting a bit ballsy. Kind of flaunting himself in front of the Kael'thas. Super zoom level. We're going to have 3 people for this side of 100% LAN win rate up in the top lane here. They're going to be trying to push quite hard against the Zagara. As you can see, Zagara successfully took a lot of ammo from the towers. And so 100% LAN win rate kind of transitions some people up to top to help counter push the Zagara, and they're doing a very good job. Most of the ammo is gone from those 2 towers. Now, Siege Giant's taken by the Illidan very early on. Good play by him. He's going to put a lot of pressure into top lane. Meanwhile, Leoric's going to take some harassment damage and just going to race walk his way out of that. First tribute should be spawning any time now. Look, there Hops is going to be in top lane, which is a fantastic position for 100% LAN win rate. I'm just going to call them 100% for ease. Polando boys, who are just going to be Polando, are with the Muradin rotating up top, are actually in a pretty good position themselves. Kael'thas is coming up. He's going to pass through mid lane now for 100%. Hopefully in time to contest this. As we see, Leoric's position is very good there. He's just right in the front. Rain hoping out from the Muradin. Muradin's been taking a lot of damage, but in the meantime, Arthas is just getting right-clicked down by the Zagara. Going to constantly death-call himself to keep himself alive. Meanwhile, Kael'thas comes in, drops some spells, but is going to get picked up by the Illidan and counter-kill immediately. And the Uthra is probably going to get picked up there as well, not able to keep himself alive even with the Abathur hat. Myth on that Jaina, just channeling the tribute. That's going to be the first one going to 100% LAN win rate. Meanwhile, nobody's soaking bottom. Well, Abathur's soaking bottom for Polando boys. Nobody's soaking middle. And we still have 4 members of 100%. Probably see Myth and, or at least Leoric going down back to mid lane to soak. Meanwhile, the Kael'thas has already returned to bottom after his death. Level 7 coming out for both teams here. Now we've got so Uthra is going to be taking the cleanse. We can have rapid incubation out of the Zagara. Nothing hugely unusual coming out here. Ossian renewal from the Leoric is slightly strange. You tend to get Skeletal Swing range taken on him. I forget the talent name. But Ossian renewal is basically Leoric's first aid, except he can activate it whilst he's in ghost form in order to come alive a little bit quicker. Typical Arthas build we see out of Arthas these days. In fact, Arcane Intellect. Frost Armor taken. Typical against an Illidan and against Zeratul. Things like that. Helps Jaina survive. Maybe means she doesn't even need to take Ice Block. There's not a huge amount of burst damage on the side of Polando boys, so potentially not going to see this block come out from Jaina at all at level 13. Second tribute spawning now down to the bottom lane. And 100% LAN win rate, they rotated very, very quickly and efficiently here. They also have this watchtower watching the back line, so they should be in a good spot here. Quickly get rid of the talents for you guys. Zagara is very good at denying tributes quite a lot, because she can spawn roaches and put the Hydralisks down, lots and lots of poke damage. As Abathur Hat's able to do a similar thing. Shera's actually getting a really good skeletal swing off there, hitting 3, if not 4. And forcing Polando boys back. Abathur, in the meantime, if you look on the minimap, is right up there in top lane, still soaking experience, so not losing out here, although they are behind by a very, very small amount. Abathur is going to be able to mitigate that. Arthur's channeling the tribute now. DM looks like he's going to successfully capture that, and that is going to be 2 tributes in a row for 100% LAN win rate. And as soon as that tribute's captured, everybody's just straight back to the lane, straight back to trying to soak as quickly as possible. There's Abathur pushing very hard in this top lane. That could spell some form of disaster for 100% LAN win rate if they don't deal with him. Leoric taking some damage, Illidan jumping in actually, getting slowed down, using his evasion and his Shadow Shield. Going to get cleansed out from that route by the Uthra. Fantastic cleanse, really, really quick there. Going to get healed up and just about survive from that. Didn't take the second tick of Jaina's Blizzard. Might not have died off the back of it, but it would have been close. Meanwhile, Muradin versus Kael'thas. Muradin, with the Abathur hat on, is going to kill that Kael'thas. down in bottom lane. Very good play there. Kael'thas with no escapes other than his stun, not able to run away from the Muradin, who dwarf toss himself and stun the Kael'thas. Now the Muradin has taken, if we bring up the talents again here, all Storm Bolts, all Storm Bolts talents, so it does lots of bonus damage to towers and takes away a lot of their ammo. Now both teams hit 10 about the same time here. Going to get Army of the Dead instead of Syndra coming out of Arthas here. As you can tell, Synderghost is my preferred ultimate on Arthas. It's just way more fun. Illidan with Metamorphosis and no other particular unusual talents. Abathur taking Evolved Monstrosity instead of Ultimate Evolution and using it immediately to start to soak and push his bottom lane. Lili, Badger Boy just taking Tribute. Gonna get interrupted eventually. Gonna pop a Jug of 1,000 Cuts now as there's a huge initiation down on Muradin. He is avatared up. Fantastic more by the Zagara catching out too. But Kael'thas is getting taken down pretty quickly. Meanwhile, Arthas in the background taking down the Zagara. Jaina's gonna get picked up. And Arthas trying to retreat back to his healer to get healed up. Muradin has taken a lot of damage though, and Arthas is probably going to be able to interrupt this Zagara. Yes, he is. Divine Shield on the Illidan, keeping the Illidan doing whatever he wants. Uther is going to get picked up, but Illidan just able to clean up as much as he wants. Look at him go with the Abathur hack. Going to pick up the Lili. Going to kill the Arthas. And the Leoric's not going to be able to get away. And that is a very, very successful team fight. And that's actually, with the Abathur's push down the bottom lane, really bolstered Polando boys' experience. They were slightly down, if not exactly the same, but now they are over a level ahead, level and a half ahead. That's fantastic news for them. Muradin pushing top, 2 towers taken, and if you look at the Abathur's push down bottom, he's going to leave his ultimate monstrosity to die here pretty soon. Well, no, he's going to take control of it and potentially move that away, but going to take a fort with it, and that is huge at this point. It does a lot of damage right now. Kael'thas is going to be able to clean that up eventually. Illidan, meanwhile, taking out the Bruiser camp here. Illidan, a very, very good solo jungler. He can do it quite early on, especially once he's got his level 4 talents. Immolation being the key one there in order to do a bit of AoE damage on top of all the right clicks. This Abathur player has been phenomenal all game so far. His position's been great. Tribute spawning bottom, he's already up top, ready to soak that. Level 13 out for Polando boys now. And we're going to get Spell Shield for the Muradin. Typical events against Jaina, but in the meantime, Kael'thas, sorry I missed that, going to get absolutely destroyed by the Illidan Abathur. Meanwhile, Illidan's doing what he can to take down the Arthas and the Leoric. Leoric's going to march of the Black King through, try and steal life from the Zagara. Zagara's going to get away from the Drain Hope there, and Leoric might get picked up here, but in the end it's going to be Illidan chasing down that Jaina as hard as he can. He's going to pick her up with the Abathur hat on again. Illidan 1v1 against the Arthas. We know who's going to win this one. Illidan again on cleanup duty, and that is a second tribute for both teams now. Polando boys pulling ahead against 100% LAN Winrate, who I would say almost definitely had a slight advantage earlier in this game. Now, Muradin and the Illidan coming to take the boss up in top lane, so down in bottom lane. Very, very solid play there. They know they're at an advantage. They've killed a couple, so they might as well come and take this boss. It's not going to be the quickest boss ever, but with the Zagara split pushing and the Creep Tumor Vision, plus the Abathur doing what the Abathur does, they know this top lane's already been pushed in by the Siege Giants as well. Going to be effectively a free boss. Now, 100% LAN win rate, they could have either contested this. It would have been tough for them, because a few of them were dead, but if they'd headed there straight away after all 5 of them were alive, they may have been able to contest that. However, they're not going to be able to, and they may just end up trying to look for their boss eventually, provided they successfully defend this tribute. Because either way, this is the curse against the team who doesn't get the tribute. And it looks like 100% on win rate are just going to sacrifice this. They're going to push out the lanes as best they can, and just defend the boss. They're going to sacrifice the curse and lose this fort in mid lane, potentially even the wall. Abathur teleporting to top lane using his deep tunneling ability, which is his mount, his Zed, and is just going to go straight to top lane to help push that out, whilst there is absolutely no tower shots being fired and creeps up on. Wall in mid is going to go down to Polando boys, really dominating, using this first curse to the best of their abilities here. The bottom's going to be defended there by the team of 100%. Now I'm going to quickly show the talents Since we do have level 16 out for Polando boys, who are heading up to do the boss of 100% LAN win rate. Level 16 talents, we have Blood for Blood coming out of the Illidan instead of Stone Skin. Quite typical, not necessarily the most common, but definitely one of the highest picked up there. Hunter Killers in conjunction with Mutalisk out of the Zagara instead of upgrading the range, so the splash damage. Picked Benediction as is typical, and some talents that Ratha are going to have the Spike Burst, slowing movements, which is really, really useful on the Illidan, making him able to chase harder. And there's going to be a jump in actually on the Jaina, who has taken Ice Block in the end, because she simply cannot survive without it. And she's going to get picked up anyway. The Muradin Stormbolt stuns too much. Fantastic more by the Zagara, locking out the Lily and the Arthas, meaning that the Leoric and the Kael'thas could not engage. But we're going to have a Phoenix here. Not going to do too much work, as it is going to time out. And Kael'thas, who has his level 13 power spike with Chain Bomb, isn't able to do enough at this point. Not going to get caught up by the boss there, but going to be a good Stormbolt from the Muradin to harass him away, who is in his avatar form as it just wears off. The boss that Polando boys were able to take did successfully take the keep in top lanes. There's 2 keeps down, mid and top, against 100% win rate, and they have yet to take a fort. They haven't even taken successfully a full wall. I mean, there's still a tower in bottom. There's a tower in mid. One tower's down, but the gate's still up in top as well. So, not looking good for 100% LAN win rate. Now, just gonna quickly check my stream stuff, guys. Make sure everything is going on there. I've not dropped any frames at all the entire stream, so it's just my game lagging out. I do apologise sincerely for that earlier on. I want to find out how many stacks the Leoric has. He has 22 stacks of reanimation, so he's gotten some decent enough health globes. Normally the minutes times 2 is roughly where you want to be, so 26, 28 would be a good point. He's not done too badly overall. I'll let Leoric to pick them up. Meanwhile, we're going to have the 4-man kind of roaming squad here of Polando boys wandering around the bottom. Not really doing much, potentially looking for a pick-off, but all of 100% LAN win rate are gathered as 5. Throwing out some creep tumors as this tribute spawns. This would mean a curse for 100% LAN win rate, which could potentially propel them into an advantage. Have the Abathur's Ultimate Evolution coming in, Evolved Monstrosity coming in here to harass the team. It's not really going to do much. It will fall quite quickly, provided another wave of abilities are used on it. Stone skin out from the Arthur, so 100% do have their level 16 talents, which is really key for them. They have Arcane Barrel on the Kael'thas, able to make him survive out for a bit longer. Phoenix is going to come down, very short cooldown on that ultimate, only 40 seconds, but it is going to time out, and now they don't have Phoenix for another 30. No other ultimate's been used so far, other than, of course, Evolved Monstrosity, and the core of 100% might start to take some damage from these giants here. Meantime, we're going to have Leoric zoning out with his Drain Hope on the Muradin. Doing well to put the damage down. And this is quite a heavily contested tribute at this point. We're going to have Muradin jumping in, going into his avatar form, stunning out the Lily as best he can. Meanwhile, Illidan jumps over, using his Metamorphosis onto the Kael'thas, going to completely destroy the Kael'thas and the Jaina. That is all of 100% LAN win rate. Damage gone. Arthur's going to get picked up, not able to self-heal himself enough with that Army of the Dead. Muradin's going to be given the Divine Shield there, so he won't die to the Leoric. Lily's going to get caught by the Muradin, chased down. Zagara, meanwhile, just going to push straight into mid lane. Polando boys are going to ignore this tribute, not waste time taking it, because the core is under siege from catapults and giants, and that is going to be game 2 Polando boys. GG, well played to them in round 1. We will see them moving on in this tournament. So very well done to them. And Nick, feel free to unmute yourself.
I'm here. I'm back. I was watching this game. It's still going on the stream, and the core had just exploded in a glorious rain of gold. So yeah, Polando boys pulling that win out. A team we've not seen before, taking on some players we have seen. That strategy just working wonders for them. And I did say on the table, Polando boys on paper, Polando boys do have the stronger team. It was down to what the individual players of 100% win rate could do, and unfortunately they didn't quite pull it out. A few questionable talent choices in there. I know the chat were talking about the fact that Jaina decided to take Frost Armor and still opted to take Ice Block, which is definitely an interesting choice there. But didn't pay off for them. And with Polando boys do advance forward. So that is a win there.